Brand new show that we're bringing to you at the end of every game. From now on, we're going to be bringing on 2 guests at a time, and we're going to have a bit of a discussion about the game. Obviously, it's not lost 1-0 to Everton in the first game of the season, but let's bring on the one and only Grandpa Brian, and he is with Paul Anderson Walsh, and he is with Andrew Bowman as well. So look, here we are.
Can everyone hear us, see us? Is everything okay?
So how are we doing, Grandpa?
I'm doing fine, but I'm dejected, disappointed, angry, and can't understand it. Can't understand what went on. I really can't understand. It's as if they've carried on from the friendly games before it started. No purpose, no energy, no passion, nothing. Really, really odd. I just don't understand it. And to find a man of the match is really difficult, because I'm going to go for Davis.
Davis, not your man, Davis. You don't like Davis usually.
Not my man, but I have to pick him because he's the only one that did anything, particularly in the first half. Moore did 1 or 2 runs later on that I liked, but he got everything wrong. We couldn't hold on to the ball. I just don't understand. Is it just new game blues or whatever it is? I just don't know. But I can't say anything positive at all about that game. And you know me, I only look for positives, and I can't say anything positive. The only positive thing is
we've lost them.
Hello? Why'd you shut it?
Because I thought it was sucking up the internet. What's going on?
Sorry, it looks like we've lost them.
I can hear him now.
Oh, they're back. No, there you can hear you. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, Andrew? We just missed you there.
It wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand in the first half. We looked to be competing all right. We were creating quite a few chances, but we lost them again. We're creating a lot of chances, but Mourinho seems to make a substitution and we lose all our attacking threat. Paul, what did you make out of it? Can you hear us, Paul? Hello? Sorry, it looks like I lost them again. We're going to try and get them back as soon as possible.
Here.
Huh?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, first time we're doing this, I guess is something's gone wrong. But yeah, we'll try and get my grandpa and Andrew and Paul back in a second. But the game just really wasn't. I was excited going to the season, and I really thought we were going to improve, especially our performances. Can we try now? I can see Grandpa and Andrew now. Has Paul left?
Oh yeah. No, Paul's talking.
Paul's still there
at the moment.
He's talking. I can't see him.
Paul's frozen on our screen.
He's frozen. I don't know if he's frozen on our screen, unfortunately.
It's not.
You can see him and hear him.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we can't see him at the moment. I don't know what's going on. There's a few technical difficulties.
I need to sort this out.
It's gone off now.
We're still live.
We're still live. Sorry. All right, guys. We are having a few technical difficulties. I think the streaming service that we're using has gone down, unfortunately. So the people who we're speaking to, we can't really still hear them at the moment. Sorry?
We're going to cut to Alex and John because...
All right, we're going to try bringing 2 new people. See if that makes a difference. We're going to bring Alex and John on. All right, we see them now.
All right, Alex and John.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you and see
Alex
you.
is frozen. I can see
No,
John.
Alex
Okay.
is there. Alex is there.
Sounds like a bit like our performance today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. It's been a bit
Not
of
working. Shall I start things off as I'm the one that's least frozen here?
Yeah, come on. You're the best quality.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but John,
where do we start with all this?
What happened today? I mean, I was so excited for the start of the season, and it's really started with a whimper.
I thought we came out all right. We looked very compact. We looked very organised. I didn't feel like Everton were threatening us one bit, so I felt very comfortable with the way that we were set up at the back. I felt like we could spring on them at any time, but we just never got our foot on the ball. We were far too negative, in our passing range. It got to the stage where we were playing like it was almost playing like a 4-1-5 with Winks in the middle, and with Winks there, he wasn't creating an angle for himself. He wasn't calling for the ball. He wasn't trying to pull the strings. He was just sort of getting the ball and then just laying it off backwards, sideways, and then we sort of lost that thrust in the team, and then we just started to lose the ball, and then we were chasing shadows to a very, let's be honest, a poor Everton team, which is a shame. If this was a couple of years ago, we'd smashed them 4-0, I reckon. So yeah, I mean, I'll start off. Let me say a positive. I thought Doherty was really good, if I'm being honest. I thought he was very positive, doing a lot of one-touch stuff. So I really liked that.
Yeah, I mean, at times Doherty looked good, positive. But he still gave away the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, but I liked his. I saw a lot of good stuff in him. I think he's going to be good for us, Doherty. He was positive on the ball. He's trying to make things happen, and you can tell he's got a higher IQ than Aurier. So that was good. But we looked far too flat. There was no quick one-touch football. Everything was it was almost as if they were too scared to give the ball away. And there was just no quality on the ball. You've got to take risks when you're on the ball. You get that fizz the ball around, get the, one-touch move, pass and run. None of that. It was almost like 11 players that had never played together before trying to cobble something together, and it was just doing that typical thing when a team's drained of confidence. It does that thing where you get it from midfield, and then instead of driving forward, you go, I'm going to I'll shuttle it out to the wing, and then when you get out to the wing, you go, I'm not going to take on my man, I'm going to shuttle it back inside, and it gets shuttled back out to the wing again. So it does that sort of crescent shape around the 18-yard box, and that's a sign of a team that's sort of lacking in confidence. So I don't know. This is just picking up where we were last season, and to be honest, this is what we were like at the beginning of last season under Poch as well. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is kind of what I was dreading, and fearing the most with Jose. But I'm running out of positives.
Let's bring in Alex. Let's bring in Alex. What's he saying? What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think this team is just. What is that? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, we can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I think this is sleepwalking into irrelevancy. I honestly think that there is no creativity there. We don't have a creative player in our team at the moment. Celso is injured. He's not even Ericsson. There was nothing from this team today showing ambition or desire to win the redemption. And there's nothing like
turn off the Wi-Fi.
He's sounding like a Dalek, Alex.
His Wi-Fi is in. It's a bit dodgy.
Sorry, hello? Can you hear Alex?
I can't hear. I think the Wi-Fi on your end is a bit dodgy.
Hello?
Hi,
Hello?
I can hear you now. Seems a bit better.
One sec. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Who can hear you?
Yeah, just I agree with a lot of what John. I think this team has no creativity in it. We didn't replace Ericsson. Last time we were talking about getting in a creative player and Lo Celso, and we haven't done that. We just haven't properly invested in this team, and it is clearest to see. And I think all our fears are coming true that this team might not go anywhere under Jose. We don't know.
What did you make of the halftime substitution?
The halftime substitution, I thought was just a mess. Why would you bring on Sissoko, who hasn't played on the right wing for a long time, and you put him there, and it wipes. Dele Alli was poor, was very, very bad in the first half. But he.
We can't really hear.
Let me come in. Let me come in.
Go on.
I don't think you can blame Harry Kane today because he just didn't get any service. the strikers didn't, there was nothing to feed off, so you can't really blame Harry Kane. You know what I mean? If he got a chance, he probably would have buried it. You know?
Yeah, but John, why he takes off Dele Alli at half time. He brings on Sissoko to kind of counteract the midfield three of Everton. But yet, all of a sudden, the second half, we looked more open and less likely to score. So was that a big tactical error from Jose, that substitution at half time?
If you watch Sissoko, what he does is he sort of stretches out to every area of the pitch. He doesn't really hold a position on the pitch. He's almost like putting out fires all over the place. So what that does is it sort of stretches the team out and it like leaves holes, massive gaps on the pitch. So that's what happened when you brought Sissoko on. Sort of leaves you more open, more vulnerable. But I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of things I could say.
If you think back to the first half, it wasn't perfect, but we did probably create the better chances than Everton. Although Everton had that, Richarlison chance where he rounded the keeper. Go on, Alex.
Second half of the first half, the minutes they're actually pretty good.
Yeah,
actually. But once we just took Ali off, everything, the whole creativity of the sports, and there was nothing there. We were just sleepwalking the entire games. We'll see.
What did you?
I don't think it was the creativity that was the problem. I think it was just a massive gaping hole in the middle of the park, basically. And all you've got is Winks there, and you've got 5 people ahead of him, and then you've just got the defence behind, just Winks trying to do everything on his own.
Just wait a sec. Alex, your internet is pretty poor. We're going to maybe try come back in, but we're going to bring in Slav.
We're going to bring in Slav. Okay. Grandpa speaking, can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear you, Grandpa. Sorry.
No, Slav is crap as well. Go back to Grandpa.
Huh?
Grandpa, we'll bring you on.
All right, we're bringing Grandpa back.
We're going to bring you back because your connection was fine. Oh, and Paul.
Yeah, wait for you.
Paul's still there as well. Sorry, guys. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. There's been a lot of connectivity issues. But I don't know if you hear what we're saying about the halftime substitution, Dele Alli coming off at halftime. We'll bring Paul in because we haven't heard from him yet. What did you make out of that Jose substitution?
Well, I was listening to the point that Alex was making before he just got cut off. And I think the difference is that he is the one player on there that you thought could do something for you. But I think Grandpa Brian's right. I mean, the reality is, if you look at that player for player, that game was lost, apart from in the mind, but that game was lost in midfield, because the fact of the matter was that Alan, Decore and Rodriguez were better than us, as simple as that. And they won every first ball. If you look at everything that Rodriguez done, Rodriguez just bossed the game. He was excellent. To me, Alan did the job I thought we brought Højbjerg in to do. The other boy, Decore, did the job I thought Harry Winks was supposed to be doing. And Rodriguez did the job that we didn't have anybody on the pitch to do. So there's no to me, they were just better than we were. But what's the really worrying thing for me, if I say this to you, is I've watched Tottenham for 50 years, and I simply can't understand the idea of a Tottenham team. There's 3 things that make no sense to me. A Jose Mourinho team that can defend a free kick. Don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. You can't get bullied by Calvert-Lewin. Come on, that's embarrassing. Nobody can get bullied by Calvert-Lewin. That's ridiculous. A Tottenham team that can't pass. Don't understand that. And a Tottenham team that can't keep a ball. And a Tottenham team that can't attack. What's that about? So the total combination to me is like, if it's a Mourinho team, then I'm okay with thinking it's going to be sterile, it's not going to be very exciting, it's going to be attrition-based football. But if it's a Tottenham team, it feels to me like it's kind of neither. I think the problem that I feel at the moment is it feels like it's not Mourinho's football team, and it's certainly not the Pochettino team that got us all excited. It's kind of in this liminal space. It's kind of like, I don't understand where we are at the minute, and it worries me because in this business, you lose 2 games, 3 games, suddenly you've got a 9-point gap on you and Liverpool and the other contenders, and you're out there. It's gone. That gets away from you. And I think that's going to be. I mean, that's one game we shouldn't blind, but that is a problem because that will get away from us very quickly.
Let me ask Grandpa, what did you and Andrew as well? What did you make of our new players performing? The right back Doherty and Højbjerg. Did you notice them? Were you impressed? Were you not impressed?
I think Højbjerg didn't have a great start. I'm not going to read too much of that because it doesn't wipe out all his past performances and the reasons the team got him. And let's hope it's just a one-off. Doherty in parts. I think one of the other speakers before, was it John? He didn't have as much as anybody had a reasonable game. There were worse players, but what bothered me as well was just the general listlessness. I think Paul's point about the lack of identity of the team. I don't know. We missed Moussa Dembele so much with that thrusting forward, and nobody to boss it and drive it forward the way that we would have hoped, and maybe Ndombele would. I don't know. It's just not. It's just not good enough at the moment. It's a very. We've got to give the new signings time, but this is a very, very poor start.
Yeah, you say we got to give the new signings time, but there's no one on that pitch that takes any sort of responsibility whatsoever. You know, that substitution happens at halftime, Dele Alli for Sissoko, but there's no one in that midfield, no one in that strike force, even the fullbacks that can make a bit of a attacking intent. There's no one giving any sort of attacking authority on the pitch. It's just two statics, two sideways, and there is just no one giving that authority and saying, come on, let's do something here. Ndombele, I thought, came on and tried that, but he was on his own, really, and then he ended up making mistakes. There's no one that can pass a ball to each other. That's for me.
Yeah, you missed Ericsson, really.
Oh, sorry.
He got.
Ben, I was only going to say, I think that's where you see that somebody like a Lo Celso, and to be honest, someone like Lamela makes a difference because they get in and they drive the game forward. And I think, bless Lucas Moura, he was doing his best, but Moura, if you looked at him, was flagged by. He had Decore and Alan wrapped around him every time he went anywhere. And he was never going to get anywhere. To be honest, I think that scoreline flattered us, if I'm honest.
That's exactly what I said in my post-match review. I said the scoreline flattered us. Second half, Everton were miles better.
100%. And if it wasn't for the fact that we would have got murdered, but he's abject, Richarlison. We would have got murdered. If you were to imagine that the 4 or 5 chances that set up for him were at Kane's feet, that would have been an end of. So I think I'd be fascinated to know what Mourinho is saying to them, because I just think that you can't play football like that. But I tell you, the one thing I will say to you is that two saving graces happened for Mourinho, and they've come together in a way that I cannot believe how they've conspired in his favour. One is that the Amazon All or Nothing series has kind of made him a rock star with Tottenham fans, because we know Tottenham fans can watch that and not love Mourinho. It's not possible. But the second thing that's helped Mourinho is there are no fans in the ground, because I'm telling you, you could not do that with 61,000 Tottenham supporters in the ground. It just would not be allowed.
All right, let me just say to Grandpa as well. He said we missed Christian Eriksen, which I fully believe. Everyone's talking about us signing a striker, a backup striker, and a centre back, but we never replaced Eriksen, did we? We sold him in January. I know we have Lo Celso, but is that a position you think we're desperate for someone to come in? And also, look, because Everton have signed James, you've seen how well he can do. Do Spurs really need to look at replacing Eriksen?
Yeah, well, let's hope we can get Bale.
Yeah, maybe I can cross my fingers.
They're going to need to do something urgently, because that was not good enough. I know we were missing a few attacking players, but still.
You think we can get Bale?
They're going on with getting a striker at the moment. Not rather than a midfielder. But I was thought in the first half that Dele was going to be much better. He was trying harder, but then they were right to take him off because he's then lost it. Yeah,
but do you feel Jose's at fault for today's result, or do you feel it's more of a team effort?
No, maybe he was a problem the team were at fault. It was a collective disaster. They allowed themselves to be walked over. Maybe it's because Everton were particularly good, and we shall see that later. But I think Everton really did play well. Their passing was phenomenally correct, and and therefore we couldn't get the ball because their passing was so good. And then when they got into the we were just as good once we got into the goal area. We missed a few chances, as many as they did, really. But if you've got to have the passes, you've got to have clean passes. We had, and where was our pace? Normally we run everybody off the ground with Son. None of you have mentioned Son. What happened to him?
The ball kept bouncing off Son in that second half. He couldn't get the ball under control. And, you go back to saying Everton passed the ball around well and how great they played. But I felt the first half, we were the better side. I felt we were the one in control. We were the one that had the better chances in that first half. I think it was all down to that substitution.
I don't agree with you. I don't think so. I think it was 60 and 40% us.
Yeah, they were using the ball and we were chasing and we allowed them. I think the crucial bit was the beginning of that game, maybe the first third, where we just seemed they got more comfortable on the ball and we didn't do anything about it. And we ended up chasing the ball all the time. And then that established the pattern for the game. And Everton grew in confidence and the die was cast.
Yeah.
But that seems to be a pattern since Mourinho's come in. We're more of a team who waits for a counter-attack and not a team who dominates possession. And is that just something we're going to have to get used to, do you think? We'll open it up to anyone who wants to.
If it doesn't work, you'll have to change it. He'll change it.
But that's the Mourinho business model, though, isn't it? That is Mourinho's business model. So, and I think that's part of the issue, because I think there is a real cultural problem for Tottenham, because for 125 years in the DNA of Tottenham is we keep the ball, right? That's how it works. And so suddenly to think you're going to be playing this attrition football where we don't, we just play the kind of rope-a-dope football and you can keep coming and then we'll just hit you on the break. That's okay, but it's all got to come together. So you get that moment where, for example, you got that glorious moment where Son's got a choice between Kane and Ali, and he chooses Ali. Okay, you've got that exquisite moment. Kane lobs the ball over to he lobs the balls into Doherty's feet. You think, well, if only that was the other way around. But you're going to play on percentages, because it means that every time you get in front of the goal, if you're playing rope-a-dope football, you have to score, and we didn't. So yeah, if we, and you're not going to get. No one's saying to you, Spurs are getting another chance. Spurs are getting another chance, because it's not the kind of gung ho Pochettino football where they're just going to keep on going, and sooner or later something's going to give. That isn't how it works with Mourinho's football. And I'm not. I don't know. I was super optimistic about this, but I've come away feeling a little bit chastened from today. I must be honest, thinking this isn't going to work. This isn't going to fly.
Look, at the end of the day, I think it's one game into the season. I think we need to calm down a little bit, and we need to get our players back in. Giovanni Lo Celso was so vital to us at the back end of last season. And I think that if he comes back, it will add another dimension of play. I think Tongi Ndombele, who we hardly saw last season, I thought you saw some good moments in there from him. If we can get him fully fit, I think we can have a good season, and I think we shouldn't be too downhearted after this one result.
And Lamella as well.
Lamella as well.
The was playing so well.
Yeah, no, I like Lamella. I think the one you can't accuse Lamella is laziness. That's one thing you can't accuse him of. And today I thought they were shocking. They were so lazy. It was embarrassing today watching the way they were watching what was happening. And let's be honest, if you think about it, if you take the indicator that they've been talking about, the fact that Ancelotti's made so much progress since the 2 months since they came to White Hart Lane last season, their progression and our regression are quite remarkable, I think, because that's extraordinary looking at that.
Yeah, the real problem was that they were all taking social distancing too far.
That's definitely part of the problem. I think the new government guidelines, everyone's confused about it. I don't know how to react to it.
Right.
Only 6 players. Only 6 players can be on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all so polite.
And they're all worried about us breaking the international law.
That's what cost us the game.
All right, Grandpa. Grandpa Andrew and Paul, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's always great to get you guys on. Thanks for coming
Cheers
on.
for coming on. Thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Come
Bye
on,
bye.
Spurs. Well, it's always great to get those guys' thoughts.
Gotta love Grandpa,
great
obviously.
knowledge of Tottenham. Paul Anderson and Andrew there, and Grandpa, obviously the famous Grandpa. Next up, we're gonna bring on David and Sai.
David and Sai.
All right, here we are.
Two consistent connections. It looks like. All right, looking good.
Let's start off with David. What did you make out of the game today?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
We can hear you. Yeah,
You're
we can hear
live.
you.
Can you hear
Welcome.
me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. To be honest, very poor. First half was good. It was decent, and Mourinho lost us that game today with the substitutions. Sissoko coming on for Winks, or not Winks.
for Dele, yeah.
Ali. I thought Ali, his first touch let him down big time today. He needs a reality check, to be honest. He's not a kid anymore. The mistakes he's making is not good enough. This is a breakout season for him, to be honest. Whether he's going to develop into a top class player or not. Second half, then he brought Bergwijn on for Winks to try and revert back to the same formation. Doesn't make sense at all. And to be honest with you, after that, I don't think the players knew what the formation was. There was a lot of walking around, no passion shown for the shirt, and we are missing a centre attacking midfielder. It's blatant obvious.
Yeah. What do you make? Sai, do you think that substitution at halftime cost us the game? Because we actually created quite a few chances in the first half.
Yeah, I think the first half you can take a couple of positives, not a lot, to be honest. Slav's face says it all down there. Look at
We can't see it, unfortunately, but you can see it.
That's how we all feel, mate. I think, yeah, all eyes are on you now. So
No one else
it's
can
like,
see him, just you, Si.
just me. It's okay. I can tell you all that it's terrible face. So all I can say is like the substitution wasn't. It was beyond me, really. I didn't understand it because I know Bergwijn maybe naturally right midfield, but I thought that he would be a better option to bring on in a wide area. But for whatever reason, I think Dave's just mentioned that I don't think the players even knew what was really going on half the time. I think in general consensus, like today, after last season, maybe positive towards the end of last season, and then you were all geared up because of this nonsense Amazon documentary, and then it comes to match day, and wow, because if I had travelled all the way up to the stadium like I always do and watched that, I would be even more livid than I am now, to be honest. Like, for me, right, and I'm going to take Doherty out of this scenario because he's new and whatnot, and I do think he did have some good points of good play today, but he was exposed when he went too forward, and this is the whole consensus of my point. The back four, whoever it is, the back four, no top four team would take any of them. And I will take Doherty out of this because I do believe that he needs to get a bit of time and get used to everything. But no one would take them. Now, Dyer, right, has asked, we all know he doesn't like playing midfield. They've stuck him in defence where he wants to be. And when the moment comes, where was the attacking header for that cross to come in? Now, I don't care about it was 4 yards more forward than it was. 4 yards is nothing. And I don't believe any of that nonsense and tripe. That's just an excuse. The fact is, no one attacked that. And these are the kind of situations in games that have cost us so many times over the last few years. I'm adamant that, we all know that a few seasons ago we should have made many changes in the team. We haven't done enough this summer either, and yes, there are many excuses and many reasons behind that. Same as there was in January, same as there was in last summer and the January before that. But when does this stop? When do we actually take account up in that board level to say we actually need to do something really big here, because I believe that more than 50% of that team shouldn't be there anymore. Perhaps they've been there too long. They just don't care anymore. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to use, it's the first game as an excuse. I don't believe that, because Everton haven't used that as an excuse. And all the other teams that want to win the Premier League or go into that top four will not have that excuse. That's not an excuse for a team that's supposedly, fighting for a top four place, or what we should be achieving this season. And
sorry, lads, can I jump in there?
Yeah, go on, David. Yeah, go on.
To be honest with you, the first game of the season is no excuse whatsoever. The players start need to be held accountable now. It's always individual mistakes that cost us. They're not young lads anymore. It's not a young team that Pochettino is trying to bring players through. We bought in Højbjerg and we bought in Doherty for experience, Premier League experience, and the rest of the players, like Doherty was poor today, Højbjerg was poor today. I think Winks needs to step up. He doesn't get involved in the tackling. There was one point there in the game today, Højbjerg made a tackle, the ball broke out of it, and Winks started running back instead of going in for the ball, which he should have, which led to an Everton attack. Alderweireld, he was him and Dyer, they made Calvert-Lewin look like Ronaldo in the air today, and that was shocking, absolutely shocking. Again, Dyer, he has to play centre back, and he needs to start taking responsibility now. And the lack of creativity is shocking. It's shocking. It's appalling, and it's going to be a long, hard season unless we get in a second striker and a second centre attacking midfielder.
We miss a maestro, David. I think we miss a maestro.
Definitely, and you look at the two teams, Everton and Tottenham. We both had a debutant in centre defensive mid today, and it looked like. And Højbjerg comes with the Premier League experience. It looked like Allen was the one that came with all the Premier League experience today. Came in, slotted right in, looked like he'd been there for the last 10 years. And Højbjerg, I was really, really disappointed with his performance today. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think it's just a mix
whole squad
of
don't look
madness,
fit.
isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Go on, one of you.
The whole squad don't look fit. They're not fit. Yeah, that's blatantly obvious. They're around 60 minutes. They were walking around the pitch. Doherty was walking to the full back to try and close them down, and just let them pass it around them.
Yeah,
it's like they want another holiday. Like, it looks like the end of the season already.
Hello?
Like, how much motivation do you guys need? What was that today? That was. I felt like we've just gone back to January when we didn't have any players left, Like, no one was available to play. And it's just, I'd rather see our under-23s go out there, than watch all that again. If that happens again next week, then I don't know. I think I've had enough of walking to the train station last season. And now I'm sat here again, thinking, I was really positive this morning, thinking, we're going to do this, or we're going to get a good performance, It's all right. Everton wanted it more. And if we had a performance that was up to their standard or higher and we lost, then there's not so many questions. But the fact is, there's so many chances today. There's so many pinpoints today, where no one, not one person in that team had any effort in them whatsoever. No one whatsoever.
How worrying is it today that how reliant we are on players like Lo Celso and Dele and even Winks to an extent? Because you look at the second half when we have when Winks comes off, we have Højbjerg and Sissoko in a deep position. We have Bergwijn, Son, Lucas, and Kane up front. We did not create one opportunity. We didn't even look like creating up an opportunity. We couldn't even build a passing move together. We didn't even look like we can get the ball on the ground and build a passing move.
But it's not even that. As soon as the ball gets to Son, as soon as the ball gets to anyone up front, all it does is bounce off them. The other team come and attack us straight away, and Everton looked like scoring 5 goals in that second half.
So do you think we're really reliant on these players like Lo Celso and Dele to really get the ball on the ground and start playing? And even to an extent in Ndombele, because he was the only one really when he came on who looked like he was going to play a through ball or looked like a progressive pass. Like, when we don't have them on the pitch, we just have like a bunch of athletes who can't really play
We're
football.
waiting.
Go on, David.
Go on, David.
We're way too passive on the ball. Like, they're in the first half. Ali made a couple of runs in behind, and they just didn't feed him.
I want to
Winks.
Well,
I've said this last year.
About stuff like this, and I know that he'll say something.
Slav will come on in a bit. Don't worry. Go on, David.
Sorry, you cut off David. Let's hear what David had to say.
Yeah, like I said last week, I says Winks, he's too passive of a passer. He doesn't get his head up and try to play forward a lot. Sissoko, we know what he does. Højbjerg today, I was very disappointed, to be honest, because at Southampton he can't play a ball. He comes from the Bayern Munich academy. He can't play a ball. But to be honest with you, I don't know what's going on at the team. We're at the minute we're the laughing stock of London. They all laugh at us, and I'm sick of it. I was there walking around this morning singing Spurs songs. I was revved up for the game, and they completely let us down. Completely let us down today. And it wouldn't surprise me now if we go out Thursday and put out another poor performance out in Plovdiv. And it could be a long, hard season, a very long, hard season. And to be honest, I'm fed up. I'm fed up of trying to defend Mourinho and the players.
David, do you think Jose is the man to take us forward into this season?
David?
Hello?
Yeah,
can you hear me, David?
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a lag here. Yeah, I can hear you now. There's just a small bit of a lag.
I was asking you, do you still think Jose is the man to take us forward into this season?
Look, looking at the documentary, he's asking for the players to show a bit of character. And to be honest with you, I think it's the players' attitude. The likes of Dele Alli, Winks, I think they're too soft-minded as well. I think Mourinho will be the right man to carry us forward once we get in a few more of these signings. But as well, he needs to find a centre attacking midfielder. He needs a different option to Kane up front. When it's not working with Kane, we have no one else to bring on. And to be honest with you, I think it's more Daniel Levy and the board now to step up and get the players in rather than looking at Mourinho.
Do you agree with that
He's
side?
a proven trophy winner.
Sorry. Do you agree with that side? Do you think Mourinho just needs a few more players to bring in, or do you think he's had enough time?
No, I think he needs. I don't think he needs more players. I think you can bring any manager in, like last season or this season, and we'd have probably the same similar results or effort from the players. We need fresh faces, guys. Like we should have done this years ago. It's been staggered out too much. We've got a couple in the summer, and we need more. We need more fresh faces that are hungry and fresh, and not part of the furniture like most of them are, where they think they can just waltz in and just walk around and think it's okay. Bring in players that want to develop, that want to play and perform on a weekly basis.
So what you're saying is they need to stop being nice guys and be bastards, yeah?
Yeah, but this was last season's conversation. So you've had all summer, you've had a break, you've gone on holiday on boats and this, that and the other. You come back, the friendlies weren't fantastic, but the friendlies. I was expecting them to be massively geared up today, massively. And the second half in particular was literally just walking around. It was like people with their hands in their pockets, like, oh, I don't feel like going after that one, or I don't really know what I'm doing, where I'm supposed to be. It was terrible. We need more fresh faces. It should have happened a long time ago, but we are where we are with it. But some of these players have been around too long, and they just don't have that kind of mindset to want to be hungry and to drive, like we had a couple of seasons ago. I don't know. I'm
the whole project.
It's not good. It's not good. And on to the next one, as they say. Like for me, it's today better not be repeated. That's all I can say. Every week, mate.
All right. David and Si, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure speaking to you guys.
Sorry, just before we go, can I just give my man a shout out?
Of course you can.
Go
on.
To your mum.
Can I just say happy birthday to my mother today?
Happy birthday!
Happy
good news and positives.
At least we've got some good news today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to his mum.
Happy birthday to you. All right, cheers for coming on, guys.
Love you guys.
Always a pleasure. Nice to see you, Si. Always a pleasure,
Cheers,
David.
guys.
Nice one, mate.
All right, let's bring JC back on and Slav.
JC, John Cooper.
John Cooper and Slav.
The one and only.
I'm so
Right,
happy
Slav.
I didn't bring the studio for this. Anyway, so-
Slav, it doesn't look like you've left your bed today.
I think he's been.
No,
I think.
I played. I tell you now, I played football this morning, and my team managed to score 10 goals.
10
And I reckon
goals.
Every single one of them probably would have been conceded by Tottenham as well. So
I think you just. That's the.
He always has to plug his Sunday League team. Always.
I don't honestly. Every single one of those 11 players are dickheads.
Who was the worst one?
Straight up.
Slav? Who do you think was the worst player?
Who was the worst player? I don't know. It was
Who was the best? Can you say who was the best?
I thought Doherty was the best personally for me. I know some people are digging him out. I thought he was good, positive.
Hugo Lloris, because he kept it at single digits.
But do you not feel in that first half? I didn't really feel threatened from Everton in the first half. I thought we were the team going to be going to score in that first half, and then as soon as they made that change, that would nullified us completely.
We were terrible in the first half.
At least we had chances, though. Pickford
We had
made
more
saves.
chances than Everton in the first half.
We were poor. We were still poor in the first half. We were just
I'm not saying we weren't poor, but at least we looked to score and we could have scored goals.
less poor. Yeah.
Back in June or July, whenever it was, Everton tried to sign Højbjerg. They didn't. We got him, and they ended up getting Doucouré and Allen. I think they might be laughing at us now.
Yeah, they tried to sign Sissoko as well.
Yeah.
So honestly, how much do they want for James, Allen, and Doucouré?
Treble what they probably paid. Not yet. But
the performance today was honestly from start to finish nothing short of an embarrassment, a disgrace, pathetic. They were walking. Harry Kane was walking. They were walking at 1-0 down with 15 minutes to go. If anyone on a football pitch walks, your manager instantly either drags you off or just screams at you. I saw none of that.
But the problem is for me, what Jose did for that substitution in the first half is at least when we got into the penalty, we got in and around the penalty area in the first half. We had a bit of guile about us. We had a bit of opportunities to find runners in the box. Doherty had a chance. Son had a couple of chances. We had a couple of chances to score, and yet once he takes Dele off, brings on Sissoko. First of all, he did that to shore up the midfield, and it did not work. We looked more open in the second half than we did in the first, and he completely nullified our attacking threat. Yet when he tries to correct that by taking off, who did he take? Taking off. Who take off the second half? Took off Winks. And he brings on Bergwijn. All of a sudden, we have no players who are able to get the ball down and pass because we got Bergwijn, Son, and Lucas in the attacking positions. We got Sissoko and Højbjerg in the pivot. We got no passes on the ball. We look disjointed. We look no passes. Why are we so reliant on all these players? Son, Lucas, and Bergwijn couldn't create a chance. If we played for 3 hours, they wouldn't be able to create a chance.
The thing is, everyone is in their shells. Everyone is passing off blame to each other. No one's taking responsibility, and that's what it is.
That's what Harry Kane said in the documentary, if you remember.
Yeah,
everything in the documentary is true.
Kane, he says it. He goes, "I don't know what's going on." All the players are sort of like looking for everyone else to sort of take responsibility. That was last season. He was saying that.
But who would create chances out of Son, Lucas, and Bergwijn? They're not chance creators. They're wingers. They're three wingers playing.
Let Slav speak.
You were also going on before about Ndombele. He gave the ball away about 8 times as well, trying to flick it over someone's head in central midfield. Who else can we go? I thought Matt Doherty was dreadful. I thought he was jogging half the time. Højbjerg.
You heard that, John?
I don't agree with that. I thought Doherty was our best player.
The standards are set very low then because he was appalling.
I thought
Doherty did all right actually, first half.
Sergio Reguilon's available for 20 million. Just putting that one out there. Ben Davis is horrendous. We never replaced Dembele. We never replaced Danny Rose and Walker. One of our centre backs is massively declining. The other one is just plain shite. Where else? Moussa Sissoko has somehow won a competition to be a professional footballer. Lucas Moura has quick feet and is living off a hat-trick in Amsterdam. Bergwijn, I don't know. Harry Kane's not interested, doesn't want to be there. And Heung-min Son has got one of the worst first touches ever.
You know what, Slav? We win. We win on Thursday, or we win next week. You're gonna be like, oh, Lucas Moura, what a player!
I've never had so many knee-jerk reactions in one sentence in one moment in my life. Unbelievable.
We're gonna start calling you knee-jerk Slav. Knee-jerk Slav.
Son's always had the worst first touch. Kane doesn't want to be there.
You can lose.
Bergwijn, I don't even know about Bergwijn.
I'll accept losing football games. You lose. Sometimes you lose to a better team. It happens. It's football. Of course you can lose, but to lose like that with no fight, no desire, no one running. Oh, that's the worst bit. No one was running.
My point being,
static.
Everton were so superior in possession. Like Alan,
they didn't have to get out of first gear.
I'm saying Alan, James, Doucouré, they were playing around us like we were school children. It was so easy for them to keep the ball, find pockets of space. Richarlison was exploiting that space in behind Doherty, however you like. Calvert-Lewin had a couple chances. But my point is, we looked so much worse once Dele went off and our midfield was Sissoko and Højbjerg. There's no quality on the ball there in Højbjerg and Sissoko.
Yeah, but at least with Dele on the pitch, Pickford made 2 or 3 brilliant saves.
Yeah, because he's something to think about. He's causing problems. He's making movements. He's making runs in behind the defenders. He's making defenders think.
100%. That's it. The attitude and application in that second half was nothing short of a disgrace.
And I don't know what do we do now. I mean, it's on. I know it's the first game of the season. I felt like I was watching a pre-season game. James Rodriguez is probably sitting there thinking, "Is the Premier League this easy?"
We should have gone for James.
He's on it. He was strolling around, pinging ball. He was playing Power League.
John, let me ask John. Yeah. We didn't sign a replacement for Eriksen. It doesn't look like we're going to sign a replacement for Eriksen this window. Is that one position that we've overlooked in how much that's needed?
No, I know everyone's talking about a creative midfielder, but that wasn't the problem today. The problem was it was far too slow bringing the ball out in midfield. That was the reason. So what was happening then was because it was so slow getting the ball forward, even just over the halfway line. All our attackers were static because they were waiting too long for the ball, and then they were set in their position, and then they had created 2 banks. So if you move that ball quicker, you get in behind them quicker, and then you can move the play a lot quicker, and then you can get in behind, you can penetrate them a lot quicker, and that was all because of players like Winks. If I'm being honest, he was the guilty culprit in that. In the fact it was far too opportunities to go forward, drive forward. No, I'll just go sideways, I'll just go backwards, and then it just gets the team all sluggish. The attackers don't go, I'm just not going to drop back and pick up the ball and retrieve the ball again. I'm just going to stay further forward. It creates this big chasm in the middle of the park. That's the problem. When we are feeling the effects of losing Dembele, because when Dembele got the ball, he would drop a shoulder, he would go past the first couple of attackers, and then immediately the game's opened up. Even Trippier would curl a ball over very quickly, first touch into Kane's feet. Now it's so sluggish. It's so like moving the ball sideways, backwards, inside, sideways, outward to the wing. And we've got no philosophy at the moment. There's no identity to the way we're playing.
We have no patterns of play. We have
no patterns of play. That's it. Yeah, it's no patterns of play.
All we can do is just dink it to the back post and hope that Doherty gets on the end of it and it might drop for somebody else. That's honestly all we've got.
Or we run out of ideas and Toby just does a big punt forwards. I mean, we are Arsenal from the 90s basically. That's what we look like.
But John, you were saying
without winning the titles or the cups.
Without winning anything.
But I'm saying, John, you were talking about, you have to move the ball quicker to get it to players in good positions so you're able to penetrate defence. But who is going to play out of the players in the second half who were playing? Who's going to play those penetrative passes? Dele's off the pitch. You got Sissoko, Højbjerg, Son, Bergwijn, Lucas. None of them are especially good at passing the ball. None of them are good at creating chances. They're 3 wingers trying to put passing moves together. That's not their forte.
I know. The only one we've got who can play a pass is Ndombele. He's the only one that can play a through ball. Do you know what I mean?
And Ndombele looked like he was going to pass out after 10 minutes. And that was after he tried to flick it over to Doucouré's head in central midfield at 1-0 down.
Yeah, at least he was trying something. At least he was trying something.
If we take our chances in the first half that we had, None of you are complaining, and none of you are
Yeah, but
complaining
Ben,
this much.
what am I going to say? Ben, what am I
We
gonna say?
didn't. If your uncle has bollocks,
There
if your
you
auntie
go.
has bollocks,
Yeah.
would be my uncle. But we should have been taking those chances. Doherty should have done better. They should have played it to Kane. You know what I mean? We could have scored goals in that game.
No, but it's all right to miss chances. It happens. Things like that happen in football. You miss chances. You misplace a pass. You miss time a tackle. Shit like that. There is no excuse to walk on a football pitch, to jog back when the other
I
team is
agree with you.
counter-attacking. And there was one point in the game where Richarlison got the ball on the left-hand side, travelled about 20 yards, looked behind him as in to turn and see who was behind him. There was no one there. He went, all right then, I'll just keep going. Even he was surprised. He should have had about 4. Honestly, there was the Doherty chance and Dele's chance, and other than that, I thought we were nothing short.
Yeah,
of
Son
embarrassment.
had a couple chances as well.
What,
We look lost. We look lost.
Doesn't count, Sim.
Sorry?
We look lost. We look like a team of individuals, basically, not a team. There's no philosophy. There's nothing cohesive.
They look like a bunch of randomers that just shown up on a Sunday morning to try and get a team together.
Yeah, and Everton were the one with 3 new players in their midfield, and they look like they've been playing with each other the last 10 years.
They were excellent. They barely tried, and they were. I thought Allen was unbelievable in that.
He was. And compare that to Højbjerg, who's suited to the Premier League or has played more games in the Premier League.
I thought Allen was. I mean, this isn't even. This might as well be Everton TV. I thought they were excellent.
They were.
But They've got Michael Keane at centre half. Someone test him for fuck's sake. Come on. Seamus Coleman must be about 40 now. Like, why is no one running at him? What's going on? Honestly, like I honestly just don't even know what to say. That was the first game of the season, and that's what we got.
Is this the sign of things to come, guys?
I don't know. We got Southampton next week, who don't stop running. That'll probably be fun. They'll probably lose.
I thought they looked a bit poor against Palace.
Oh, well, Plovdiv.
I've got a question for you boys.
Go on.
What made you think? What made you think we were going to finish top 4?
What makes me think? Because I thought I know. Look, it's only the first game. Let's not go overboard.
We looked worse than West Ham.
Yeah,
John, 37 more games to go.
I
Come on,
watched that
Spurs.
game. West Ham was shocking. Look, it's only the first game of the season. I know we were bad today. It was a bad day at the office. No one can get away from that. No excuses there. But I'm still hopeful that we can have a good season. I really believe we were getting better at the end of last season, and I thought the additions would help. But yeah, look, it's not a good start at all.
The additions
it's
have
not
made
a
us
good
look
start.
worse.
All right, first game. First game.
Bring Aurier back.
Aurier.
Bring Aurier back. Honestly, what a shambles that. We need to spend. Reguilon's available for 20 mil. Get him in.
What about that guy we were linked with, Castagne? He looked good today.
Yeah.
He scored in his debut as well. Another good one. Another one we've missed. Apparently, we're getting Alexander Sorloth today. Great.
Oh, the Palace flop. Come on.
Super.
Respect.
I mean, I do think if we had Deeney on the bench there, we could have got a result. But it wasn't.
We need a
to be.
sub-striker, that's for sure.
No,
all right, guys.
And Callum Wilson as well. He looks good.
Yeah. He also scored his debut. Who else? I'm sure. I reckon we could do this.
Probably all of them.
I think in January we can probably make a starting 11 who scored on their debut and was linked with us.
We need a left back, an attacker.
There's an idea for a video, Slav.
A striker or 3. Yeah, I'm coming in to do that video. Debut. Yeah. We need a striker or 3, an attacking midfielder, another defensive midfielder, a centre half, a left back. I mean, other than Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, we need a whole new 11.
All right, Slav, John, absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on,
They
guys.
better sort this out this week. They better fucking show up on Thursday and win 8-0, and they better go and win next Sunday, or I swear to God.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
You know.
Ben, I'll see you in the week. Sim, I'll see you in the week.
See you later, mate.
See you, Slav. See you guys.
Nice one,
See you,
JC.
John. How do I leave?
Just get out, Slav. Get out.
Just get out, Slav.
Kick him out. Oh, he's studio, yeah?
All right, let's bring in the cheese room.
The cheese room.
We have got Aviva and Franco. How are we doing, people?
That was that game was probably harder to watch than your quiz, I think, Franco. I would say that the quiz you made on Thursday. I must say, Aviva, nice to have you on.
First of all, for that quiz, we know there was a lot of cheese room conspiring going on. We know that I heard they got the answers before.
Insider trading.
I hate HG so much.
Brilliant. Let's start with Aviva. Look, we've been beaten today. Well, you have to say probably well beaten as well. 1-0 probably flattered us. What was the biggest problem for you today?
We're just not a complete team yet. We're missing players in key positions, and there's a lot of players who I think are still around for sentimental reasons that just need to go.
Who specifically?
Sissoko and Winks. I think I love their stories. Like Sissoko was shit, and then he became good again. And Winks is Tottenham boy, Tottenham Academy, yay. But they're mid-table players right now. At least that performances they put in today. So I think we need to kind of let go of the heartstrings a bit and just realize that we need to move some players out and bring some new ones in.
Do you agree with that, Franco? Do you think Sissoko and Winks are only around for sentimental reasons?
I think they're around because nobody else wants to take them off our hands, to be honest. Like those rumours of Man City wanting to buy Winks for 40 million, I was like, go for it. It's for years we kept him in because he was homegrown, I think, and he's a Tottenham boy, and all that stuff is great. It's a really important thing to have in your squad. But just those two, they don't work together, and they seemingly don't even work when they're playing with other people. I mean, it didn't help that Højbjerg had a pretty abject debut today, didn't he? He just was off the pace and didn't really look great. Did a few things that were good, but there's just so much wrong with today. So much wrong. Jose's substitutions, none of them worked. Like the boys before have said, everything was just too slow, ponderous. It was basically like we've seen for the entirety of Jose's reign. And to be honest, some of Poch's too. I don't know what this team needs, because we've brought in 2 players. You bring in a different mentality, but they seem to be sucked down to the rest of the team's level rather than inspiring the team to do better. Do you know what I mean? Like, didn't think Doherty or Højbjerg were particularly impressive today, and just generally there was nothing to get excited about, not even a goal to celebrate. So
you say
I was excited about the start of the season, but now it started. Look, I told you, it disappears very quickly, doesn't it?
You say nothing to get excited about, but was there literally any positive you could take from that? Anything? Ndombele played 15 minutes.
We saw him. He exists.
He's alive.
That is it. The fact that Ndombele has not been completely cast aside and that he might get a chance. But again, it was so frustrating that he did a few little things that he's good at, that dropping the shoulder. Like he can sell a player the wrong way very easily. But his passing was off. He gave the ball away several times, and you think you're only on for a short period of time. Just kind of, I don't know. What do you expect in that situation? Because it's a lot of pressure, isn't it? You're basically like, right, we're 1-0 down. We need you to come on and do something. He tries it, nothing works, and people are going to write him off and say he's useless again. So it's like nothing went right.
But Aviva, what did you make of our new 2 debutants today? Were you as unimpressed as Franco?
Yeah, Pierre was not really doing it for me. I mean, Doherty...
Still the best Pierre in North London, though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, by a mile. Doherty for me was good. I actually thought that I'm glad he played and not Aurier, because he showed some class in areas that Aurier just does not show the same instinct. So when he had that chance on goal, he passed it like he just kind of, tipped it forward rather than like crossing inside, which is what Aurier would do. So I think that switch of just like instinct is actually good to see. I think it can set up more dangerous situations for us. But yeah, besides that, Joe Hart was also really quiet.
Joe Hart probably did as much as Harry Winks today on the pitch.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But yeah, I wasn't dazzled. If anything, I think Everton's new signings really showed, why they were good signings. I think Rodriguez for sure. I mean, he's their creative spark, and with Lo Celso not playing right now, it just goes to show how much we need another replacement for Eriksen, because Lo Celso sometimes plays slightly deeper. So we need someone who's just going to be that creative person, and we didn't have that. Had we had that, it might have been a completely different game today.
Yeah, because in the first half, I know it still wasn't a perfect performance, but we did create quite a few chances in the first half. Dele had a good chance. Pickford made a save. Son had a couple of chances. And Doherty, as you say, had that chance. But once we took Dele off at half-time, we brought on Sissoko. It seemed to completely nullify our creativity. And not only that, we changed the formation to kind of counteract Everton's midfield 3. And we looked more open than we did in the first half. So we kind of blunted our attack, and we made ourselves more open at the back. So how much, Franco, does Jose take of the blame for that second half performance?
Yeah, no, quite most of it, I would say. I don't know why he thinks that Sissoko on the right wing will ever work. It was always a failed experiment. So when I saw that, we saw the sub, and I thought, I wonder what he's done here. But I was not expecting that to happen. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he takes some of the blame. I just think it was all in fairly, relatively insipid. But the thing to point out is that towards the end of last season, we were getting through games in a very similar fashion, but we were taking chances. I think, was it the Leicester game? We had an XG, if you buy into the XG too much, was like less than one goal, but we scored 3. And we had that in quite a few games. Yeah, well, we were scoring more goals than our XG on a regular basis, which means players are taking their chances, the few chances that we create. And today, like you say, the Delhi chance where Son maybe should have played in Kane, it was a bit of a tricky angle, but there was that. And then obviously Doherty's chance, which was, I see what he's trying to do, place it past the keeper. But if he'd just smashed that as hard as he could, I think there's probably more chance it would sky into the net and go in. You take both those chances, and it's a different game. And the fact that we didn't, it just allowed Everton to kind of grow into that game in the second half because, like you say, we were more open. It was just a travesty. I thought after that first half, second half will probably improve. Jose will go in, change a few things, and we'll come out better. But you're right. If anything, we came out worse.
Yeah. A lot worse.
Very worse. I mean, it was just a terrible display, I thought, from start to finish. I'm struggling to see any positives. I know it's very evident that we're looking for a new striker in this transfer window, but judging on that performance, what else do we need? We need a lot more, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely need a left back. We need attacking midfielder, central attacking midfielder. And maybe something in the defensive midfield position. I mean, if we're talking about maybe moving on with Winks or Sissoko, we need someone else. And someone who's not going to have to grow into the role, someone who knows how to do it and do it well. I think that's the problem. We've had players that either don't play there naturally and we put them there, or players who are coming up through academies. We just need someone who knows how to do that. So Decore, for example, he knows how to do that position and he does it well. And Everton brought him in, and he did it. So I think we need to follow that model much more in the transfer window.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Cheese Room Podcast. Everyone go and give the Cheese Room Podcast a listen. Absolutely brilliant Spurs podcast. So check it out.
Guys.
Thank you so much, Franco and Aviva, for coming on.
Cheers, Aviva. Nice to see you guys.
Bye.
Good to see you guys.
Cheers.
All right. And last but not least, I think we've got Josh King waiting. Josh King
by himself.
Yeah.
By himself.
Oh, he gets his own one.
Josh
of course he does.
King.
He's the king.
What do you
expect?
Save the best till last. Do you know what
Exactly.
Royalty.
Exactly.
Royalty. We are Tottenham royalty.
Josh, if you weren't Jose out before, what are you now?
I'm Jose. Get him out now. Look, I'm not gonna go crazy after one result. It is the first result of the season. I'm not Jose out right now. I'm not, honestly. But the thing is, I was doing something for another channel actually, and I was surrounded by fans from other clubs, and there was Chelsea fans. There's Chelsea fans and Man United fans, yeah, level-headed guys, and they were saying this is very similar to the things he was doing at our clubs, but it's happening quicker. So it's getting scary because
escalated.
Pardon?
It's been escalated. It's accelerated. That's the word.
Yeah, and that is Spursy. Come on, that is us.
True.
If it's gonna go wrong, it'll go wrong straight away, won't it? So, but then I'm sure everyone, I've been watching beforehand, everyone said this, so I don't want to do it to death, but how are you taking off Dele Alli for Sissoko? That is unforgivable. That is not the world-class manager that I know. That the world celebrates the amount of trophies he's won. There is no excuse for that kind of managerial decision. And even if you're trying to change your shape, well, he's failed because we were way more open in the second half than we were in the first half. So the signs are there. I'm not Jose out, but it's worrying, guys. Come on. That is worrying. That is straight from the manager. That's his decisioning, his choice. This is the guy that we're hoping to take us to the further heights, win us a trophy this season. That was his in-game management. That's awful. And one more thing I just quickly want to say. there's been a lot of Ndombele slander on the previous calls. This is a guy that had COVID a couple of weeks ago. He's played 45 minutes of football in basically the past 6 months. Basically, like he played like a half against Bournemouth and then 20 minutes against Sheffield, I think it was. What do you expect him to be like in the last 15 minutes of a game? You cannot like just go out and say, "Oh, Ndombele's shit." Or sorry for swearing.
It's all right.
It's all right,
I think
mate.
the S word's all right. I think
the
that's
S
fine. No C word though. No C bombs. That's please.
All right. Jose's
Jose bombs.
But yeah, no, it's the slander is just, it's not fair on Ndombele. Give him a run of games, even if it's Europa League. I guarantee you he will come good. But guys, do you think after this performance, do you think Jose's going to be our manager at the end of the season?
Just look,
You
it's
can't
one
judge on
game.
one performance. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You can't judge on one performance, but judging by the Amazon documentary, he's going to be our manager for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I mean?
admit,
He
even
comes
you
across as
started
the biggest saint going.
Admit you even fell in love with him a bit after the Amazon documentary. Come on,
definitely. I thought, the Jose Magic Leicester or whatever, like. And what's he doing? He's proving it.
If we can get Ndombele playing for 90 minutes and fit and firing, does that solve the problem a bit with Lo Celso in there?
Look, first of all, I want to say that Ndombele just has one of. Do you know how Yaya Toure was? He just looks lazy. He is just one of those players that looks like that. You might think he's gassed. He's not actually. He's not gassed. Like, so don't slander him that much. Do you know what I mean? Like he did put some nice passes together. I know he lost the ball a bit, but he was trying. If you watch Bruno Fernandes, who all Man United fans think is the second coming, he loses
penalty
the ball.
merchant, mate. Penalty merchant.
Exactly. Yeah. Glad we missed out on that one. But yeah,
we got Jedson. We got Jedson.
Yeah, exactly. We got the real Fernandes. But yeah, he loses the ball literally every 1 out of 3 passes, like, because he's always trying something, and that's Ndombele. Like, but we can't take these small sample sizes. 45 minutes here, 15 minutes here. Like, we need to give him a run of games, man. And
agreed.
The thing is, Mourinho's not going to give him a run of games. That's the thing.
He might do. You never know. You have maybe after today, he might not have another choice. Well, I want to know your thoughts on our two new signings. Both made their debuts today. Matt Doherty at right back, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in centre mid. I want to know your thoughts.
Disagree with Slav. Doherty, because I believe he said that Doherty was one of the worst players on the pitch or something like that.
I mean, Slav just went on a whole team run.
On a tirade,
player by player, just
Son has
digging
no
them
first
all
touch.
out.
Kane doesn't want to be there. He was going all in. So
fair enough. Doherty actually, I think he was class. Like the especially first half. Like his give and goes. Do you know what happened second half? You got Sissoko over there, and he can't play 1-2s, and Doherty loves playing 1-2s.
He can't play ones, never mind 1-2s.
True. He's Sissoko's like a black hole. Like, everything, the play comes into him, but then it just gets eaten up and it doesn't go anywhere. Like,
it doesn't come out. There's nothing.
Yeah,
give the ball to him. It goes. That's it. It's gone now.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But and Højbjerg. I hate sounding. I know I'm always like, I hate sounding negative, blah blah. But I did say this from the start. He's not that good, to be honest with you guys. Like I said it when we signed him. I said he's serviceable if we play him as a 6, but we're not playing him as a 6. We've got Jose doing this double pivot and telling Winks to stay and collect the ball off the centre backs, and telling Højbjerg to go flying at people. No, Højbjerg is the one that's limited. Like, he should be sitting there, receiving the ball and just breaking up play and doing his thing in his little area, and let Winks go up and dictate the play. Do you know what I mean? Or Ndombele or Lo Celso or whatever. But this is why I am scared, guys. I'm scared of Jose's tactics, because stuff is happening that doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to the wide community of football. I'm not saying I'm a better manager than Jose. I couldn't lace his boots, but you've got everyone saying, what is he doing? At points, there's certain decisions he makes, and you're like, what is he doing? Like I heard you say earlier, bringing on Bergwijn, and then you've got no creativity whatsoever. Like, as in no player in that
passing.
in the final third of the half that can actually like pick a pass, or do you know what I mean?
You got three wingers trying to create chances. Wingers are supposed to be on the wing. You know, you can't have three wingers in the final third trying to play into play and stuff like that. Well, that's not their game, and that's how we're so reliant on Dele and Lo Celso. We really are, because without them, we have no guile in the final third at all.
If we kept Dele on, I think we would have won the game. Honestly. Like, Dele would have come. You know, Dele always he's not that great, and then he just scores or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I honestly I believe that we would have won that game if we just kept Dele on. Did people say he was injured, or what was the...
I don't know. I think it was tactical, because there's been no injury news or anything. I haven't heard anything what Jose said after the game, but I think it was tactical, purely
It's
tactical.
got to be. If he was injured, surely you don't bring on Sissoko. I think he brought on Sissoko. I thought he brought on Sissoko to counteract Everton's kind of dominance in the centre. But
the thing is, their dominance finished after 15-20 minutes. I thought we were on top for the second half of the first half.
Yeah, he overreacted. I don't think we were that bad in the first half. I think he just overreacted to what he saw in the game, and I thought it cost us big time because it nullified us going forward, and we were more open at the back, as you said before. So he got it completely wrong. And then the problem was, once he took Dele off, he couldn't rectify that. It was gone. We had no one on the bench who had as much guile as Dele Alli, except for maybe Lamela, but he wasn't. I don't know. He didn't want to bring on Lamela. I don't know. He didn't bring him on.
I mean, Højbjerg already should have been sent off. If Lamela would have come on, he probably would have got a straight red.
Yeah, definitely. Nah, what did you guys think of Højbjerg?
I didn't. I thought he was very poor today. I was not impressed whatsoever, and I thought he should have got sent off.
I thought first half he was quite promising, but then second half he completely lost his way, especially in the end of the game. He was getting turned left and right by Richarlison. He was going into tackles like foot high. I don't know how he stayed on the pitch. He's putting in reckless challenges, and he was losing the ball recklessly as well a couple times. He lost the ball in our own penalty box. Yeah,
he looked lost. He looked absolutely lost.
Yeah,
he tried to dribble it out of our penalty area with two Everton men there waiting, and he just lost the ball.
And he lost it. So I thought in the first half, I thought he was more measured. I thought he pressed at the right times, but once he lost his way, he was like a headless chicken.
And Josh, you compare that performance to a debutant in Everton, Alan, never played in the Premier League before. He was fucking amazing.
Yeah. And we could have got him for, what was it, 20 mil? The same.
Yeah, exactly. Could have got him.
Nah, it's
King Levy strikes again.
But do you know what the difference is as well? It is a bit tactical as well, because Alan was just told to sit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Højbjerg is told to go and play football. He does not play football.
Why. I agree with
He's
you.
not a footballer. Like, he is someone that can break up play. Like that is what he does, and it's so frustrating. And I feel like I don't mean to sound big-headed, but I do feel like I'm a bit ahead of the curve with this Jose thing. Everyone wants to like be on the Jose bandwagon and stuff, but I feel like as we progress in the season, I'm calling it right now. Ledley King's going to be our manager.
Ledley. Of course, King Ledley. Come on.
And he's going to.
We can have King and King. Are you going to be his assistant?
Yes.
Get all the Kings in.
Yeah.
And tell me, we're looking for a striker. Is Josh King available? I want to know. You probably have an inside track on that.
I'm available. I don't know if
you're
available. Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're Josh King, so maybe you know. I don't know.
Yeah, but look, that's what everyone's screaming for on Twitter. Like, that's the big campaign, isn't it? Like, every Spurs official post, everyone's like, sign a striker. Or whatever. But what would signing a striker do for us today?
Nothing. We need someone to deliver it to the striker. That's what we need.
Give us someone to lump it to. Do you think the fact that we haven't replaced Eriksen has been overlooked as something that needs more of a pressing issue than maybe people have said? Because we haven't replaced him.
I think we were going. Look, those were Poch signings. We were going to go to a 4-3-3. We were going to play different kinds of football, and Lo Celso and Ndombele would have been able to replace his output. I think together, like they would have added different things as well, because Eriksen can't dribble. Although Eriksen is an amazing player and was definitely an amazing player, like an assist king, he can't dribble past players, he can't press players, he can't tackle players. And so together they would have, between them, I reckon they would have done it. But, you know, Poch got sacked and Jose came in, and that's not the way he plays football. And now we're in we're in a bit of a mess, guys. I've got to be honest.
Are we ever going to see a midfield three of Højbjerg, Ndombele and Lo Celso? Do you reckon we're ever going to see that?
Not under Jose.
Not under Jose.
100% no.
Thing is, we've been crying, like you said, Josh, we've been crying out for someone just to sit in front of that defence, and we haven't got that. Højbjerg has been told to push a bit forward. Winks is that guy, and he's not that guy. We need to be Højbjerg to be just sit right in front of that defence and protect it. That's what we need, and the other players to let them go and play. But anyway, what do I know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, it's just crazy signing a player that can do a job and then not telling him to do that job. It's just it's a bit scary. But yeah, I definitely think that Ledley King's going to be our manager. He's going to win every single game that he comes in, and we're going to make top 4 by the end of the season. And the first time that we get to see the Højbjerg, the Ndombele, Lo Celso midfield will be King's first game.
All right.
I think if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Sacramento as our manager. That's what I think.
Nah, he'll go with Jose.
Nah, Sacramento's following Jose everywhere, mate, 100%. Get Hugo player manager, mate, after his leadership in the Amazon doc, mate. Hugo player manager.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josh, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Josh.
Always a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll speak to you in a bit.
Cool.
Better days, man. Better days.
Sweet. Bye.
All right, so that brings a wrap up to the post-match fan show. We'll be bringing you shows like this very regularly after every game.
Smashed out with the views, guys. Thank you everyone for watching.
Absolutely smashed out with the views. Thank you so much for viewing. Thank you everyone to come on that and contributed as well. And also, I want to plug our memberships as well, because we got a few members today, new members. We've got 3 tiers of membership, so go check out in the link in the description below where you can view what you get and what perks you get for our membership. So go check that out. Obviously, we hope for better days. We'll see you on Thursday for our watch along for the Bulgarian Plovdiv in the Europa League third qualifying round or whatever it is. Hopefully, we can get some sort of win in that game. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Any closing words you want to add?
Let's hope for a better start, for a better... Yeah, no, I don't.
Anyway, like, subscribe and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.